There was a war in Europe. Oh, said, we are going to starve. These Ugandans here were talking like, some of them were talking like that. Even when I spoke to President Zelensky, he rang me and we spoke on the phone, the president of Ukraine. He was also telling me about food, that we can give food to you. I said, please, we don't need food in Uganda. We have got a problem of too much food here. We have to export it. So please, for food, these people said, oh, there's a shortage of food. I said, what food? They said bread. But why are you eating bread? Why don't you eat more cassava? You have got all the food you need here. Yes, we don't grow so much wheat because that's not our culture. Me, I don't eat wheat, I don't eat rice. I eat your food. And we have a lot of it here in Uganda. There are a few of our areas which have some shortage because they are a bit dry. But it's not because of lack of food, it's just lack of money to buy the food from the farmers to give it to them. So food. So therefore, two things. Number one, talking quietly and politely but firmly to our foreigners that please stop this. Don't give lectures again. Don't. Just talk about your own things. Don't give me a lecture. The African people, they are tough people. They don't die easily. Africans are very tough. That's how they could manage the slave conditions in the new world and survive. They're still there. You can see them there. They survived. So those who went to the new world survived. We who stayed here survived. In spite of the slave trade, in spite of colonialism. But also, you Africans, you need to know that Africa was colonized because of internal weaknesses. Don't only blame the outsiders. Because the Europeans, you remember, they tried to colonize China, but they couldn't. China was still disorganized, feudal, but they ended up only capturing Hong Kong and Macau, and that was all. They were not able to conquer the whole of China. Even Japan, they couldn't conquer Japan. So Africa was conquered because of internal weaknesses. We could have defeated the Europeans. We could have defeated them. But our chiefs were just putting on monkey skins, running around half naked. So by 1994, South Africa gets freedom. And we think we have ended the shame of African capitulation. And this was a good opportunity for the Western countries to stop nonsense. Because Africans are forgiving people, we don't hold grudges. We said, okay, the past is the past. Even some of the people have been saying reparations. Me, I have never joined those people to say, because it was partly our fault. Why didn't we defeat these idiots when they came here? Why are you conquered? You are an idiot yourself. You can't say, I was conquered. What were you doing? Why couldn't you organize yourself? The idea that Europeans had guns, this is not correct. Those guns of those days were no better than spears. They were very inefficient, very inefficient weapons. And in some cases, where the Africans organized well, like in Sandilwana. In Sandilwana, there is a place in South Africa called in Sandilwana, where Tsetshwayo defeated the British in 1879. They could defeat, we could have defeated this, they could have defeated these invaders, but they were bankrupt themselves. So you must look at the internal weaknesses, not just look at the outside. So anyway, by 1994, Africa had been cleared. And this is now why we needed a new start. So therefore, it is amazing to see that people can again now try to tell Africa, do this, do that. I really feel embarrassed on behalf of those people. How dare you? How dare you? These people made a mistake. Again, it was our internal weaknesses. They invaded Libya, that NATO. They invaded an African country called Libya. So therefore, the idea of the foreigners giving elections to the Africans should stop, because they should have learned this. But also, the idea by the African that Africa is poor should also stop, because it's not. Now, recently, there was a war in Europe. Oh, said, we are going to starve. These Ugandans here were talking like, some of them were talking like that. Even when I spoke to President Zelensky, he rang me and we spoke on the phone, the president of Ukraine. He was also telling me about food, that we can give food to you. I said, please, we don't need food in Uganda. We have got a problem of too much food here. We have to export it. So please, for food, so these people said, oh, there's a shortage of food. I said, what food? They said bread. But why are you eating bread? Why don't you eat cassava? You have got all the food you need here. Yes, we don't grow so much wheat because that's not our culture.